My name is Chris Adderley, real estate agent at C.A. Christie Real Estate in the beautiful islands of the Bahamas. And you have just picked up a sell signal on CAC TV. As a real estate agent, sometimes we can take for granted that the information we work with every day is widely available and accessible by all. A lot of times, that's totally not the case. For that reason, I'm making this video available to you to jumpstart into action and move forward to fulfill your dreams of property ownership. The first thing that's a bit tricky for most is, what exactly is the role of a real estate agent? A real estate agent is an intermediary between the seller and the buyer. Regardless of who the agent represents, the seller or the buyer, a good agent should have an in-depth knowledge of their market to best represent you. In the same way, a lawyer should have a firm grasp on the law to properly represent their clients in court. Agents provide guidance and assist sellers and buyers in marketing and purchasing property for the right price under the best terms. On the buyer side, agents' responsibilities include, but are certainly not limited to, determining your needs and financial abilities to propose solutions that suit you. This includes ensuring you're pre-approved by a lender to be able to have a realistic approach to ownership. Intermediate negotiation processes, that is, to consult clients on market conditions, prices, mortgages, legal requirements, and related matters to ensure fair and honest dealing all around. Perform comparative market analysis to estimate the value of properties that you may be interested in. Prepare any necessary paperwork, which includes contracts, leases, deeds, and closing statements, and generally guide you through the process of ownership until the deal is closed and the property has been transferred from seller to buyer. On the selling side, agents are responsible for displaying and marketing real property to possible buyers, maintaining and updating listings of available properties, cooperating with other parties that are important to the process, including appraisers, lenders, and home inspectors, and developing networks and cooperating with attorneys, mortgage lenders, and developers. We also promote sales through advertisements, open houses, listing services, and so many more marketing channels that are available to us today. And of course, on either side, real estate agents must remain knowledgeable about real estate markets and best practices. Another question that many potential buyers tend to ask, where answers may not be readily available, is, what are the costs associated with real estate ownership? As one of the biggest purchases most will make in their lives, it's important not to get overwhelmed when assessing costs to own property. In most cases, costs associated with real estate ownership will depend on the cost of the property itself. Because of this, it's best to keep in mind that the best offense is a good defense, and fortune not only favors the bold, but those who are prepared. Keep the following current costs in mind to have a good idea of overall expenses and to make informed decisions in the path to owning your own property. On property over $100,000, there is a 10% government stamp tax. Typically, this is split between the buyer and the seller. On property less than $100,000, there is a 2.5% government stamp tax. This can also be split unless an alternative agreement is made between the buyer and the seller. Real estate commissions on developed land are 6% and on undeveloped land are 10%. Government value-added tax is then applied on those real estate commissions. Legal fees are generally between 1.5% and 4% of the property value, and there is also a 12% value-added tax applied to those legal fees. These are all costs to consider when deciding on a property, as they must be paid before a deal can be closed. Real property tax then applies once transfer has occurred and the deal has closed, and this is also based on the cost of the property itself. In talking to clients, I can tell that reality TV and real estate entertainment has spoiled us all to a certain extent, which brings us to the next question. How long does it take to close on a property? Generally, closing on a property can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months from offer to closing. Keeping in mind there are lots of moving parts to any real estate transaction, including banks, lawyers, agents, buyers, and sellers, it's important to ensure documents and finances are in order throughout the process to ensure all parties are able to work as efficiently as possible. Finally, the length of time to close is sometimes also dependent on the availability of the property itself. For newly built properties or those under construction, buyers are generally at the mercy of contractors or developers and their ability to obtain certificates of occupancy for you to close the deal and move in. Throughout all of these processes, it's important to have a competent and willing agent to represent your interests to the other parties involved. With COVID-19 upon us, there are lots of questions lingering in the minds of would-be homeowners waiting to see where markets will go once we've established a more sustainable new normal. Whether you're on hold at this time or ready to be a homeowner today, it's best to find a real estate agent you can trust to guide you through the market and represent your interests with no reservations. If you're serious about owning property, the best time to start looking and making assessments of the market is now. Find a great realtor and be realistic about your expectations and aligning your finances to achieve your ownership goals. If you have further questions on home ownership or would like to begin your journey, feel free to reach out to me in whatever way is most comfortable to you. My contact is in the description below. It's said that real estate is a contact sport, and you can't win if you don't play. My name is Chris Adderley, real estate agent at C.A. Christie Real Estate in the beautiful islands of the Bahamas, and this is your Sell Signal.